to look at acceptance test generation using Tabnine. And in this example, we'll look at a feature and a couple of scenarios which will be used to test that feature. These are written in Gherkin syntax, and we'll look at how Tabnine can generate code to run these acceptance tests. Before we begin, a quick Maven test run just to show the current state of the application. And here you can see we have some errors. We're missing the required steps or the code needed to test these scenarios. So let's turn to Tabnine to remedy the situation. And before we begin, we'll have a look at a custom command that we've created, which lays down the ground rules for all acceptance tests that we generate in Tabnine. And in this custom command, we specify the API endpoint against which these tests will run, a couple of libraries to generate the data, and then also what to expect in terms of a successful response from the API. So with that custom command, we will also we'll put that into our prompt and also specify the name of the file into which the code will go. So Tabnine is now generating the code as prompted, and this is extraordinarily useful for organizations and for teams who are looking to define their user stories and their customer journeys using natural language and have their AI coding assistant generate the necessary scaffolding and code with which to execute those tests against those scenarios. So here you can see Tabnine is also recommending dependencies for my application if I don't already have them in place, which I do. So what we're interested in here is just the code itself. So to begin, we will create a new file in our project with the name API tests or test API steps, and we will place the code that Tabnine has provided to us into this file. And this is really easy to do. We're just going to go back to the code block, and at the very bottom we have a insert link, which we'll use to insert into the file. Now a quick sanity check of the code. Everything looks good. We have a 201 for a successful HTTP response, and 400 is the assumption for an unsuccessful response, which is fine. So let's go with that. So again, we're just going to run Maven test, but first make sure to save the file, run Maven test with this new code. And as you can see, we now have our two scenarios have now been successfully tested. So two tests, both run successfully. And so that is acceptance test generation using Tabnine from stories and features that have been defined using natural language.